is a mole right at the top of British intelligence. He's been there for years.
For 25 years, we've been the only thing standing between Moscow and the Third World War.
I'm retired. You're outside the family.
Now, there's a lot of buzz about the fact that you're taking over a famous role from a famous actor. Smiley is originated by Alec Guinness. If another actor wanted to play a role that you've done in your past, because you've done so many great roles, which role would you like to see redone, and which actor would you like to see do it?
Oh, that's interesting. Let me think. Yeah, I think Oswald, JFK, Ryan Gosling.
That would be incredible. I'm actually reading the Stephen King's new book right now, all about JFK and Lee Harvey Oswald, and it's fantastic.
Is it good?
It's fantastic. And the whole time I'm picturing you in my mind. Yeah. Actually, funny enough, I kind of wanted to mention that because I feel like you are one of those actors that you're so good in your roles that people almost forget you're in that part because you take over that part so well. You talk to someone and they'll go, oh my God, that's right, Gary Oldman was that person. Who is that role that most people come up to you and they're like, oh my God, like I forgot you were that person in that movie?
Well, one of the roles I played, I was in a movie called The Contender about 10 years ago, playing a Republican congressman, Shelley Runyon. And there were people who come up to me and say, I had no idea it was you until the credits.
Is that the biggest compliment that an actor can receive?
Yeah, I think so. There was also Hannibal.
Well, right. Well, and also because of that was Mason Verger.
Yeah. So that was that was fun.
You're well placed to look into this for us now.
I'll do my utmost. I know that it is one of these men. All I want from you is one code name. Tinker. Tailor. Soldier. Spy.
We got the award screener for this. Literally, as I was walking out the door to come to the junket, but I saved it because I wanted to see it on the big screen.
Think I'm going to get the Oscar?
You're due for one, aren't you?
I think it's my time.
It's your time. I think so.
It's my time, yeah.
You know, one of the things that fascinated me about these guys, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I just got the sense that they're very lonely men. At the end of the day, they're very lonely guys. So I kind of wanted to ask, as an actor, as beautiful and glamorous as this profession is it a lonely profession?
Well, yeah, I think it's up to you, really. I think it could be a recipe for loneliness, but I think that's just how out of control you let your ego get, because I think that certainly isolates you. And I think it's one of those jobs where you go into a rather odd place quite often, and it's pretty hard to share that and hard to come back from. I know that makes acting sound like a much more sort of serious operation than most people would think of it as, but it is true. And
what's the oddest place that you've ever gone as an actor?
Well, I mean, it's hard to quantify. I mean, I've been doing it for 25 years, and I'd have to sort of dredge through the entire kind of canon. But it's often when you play somebody who's real, and it's very sobering to wake up to someone else's experience, particularly if it's traumatic. I did a film about a soldier in the Falklands War in 1986 or 7 or something. And this was a guy who was my age and still very much around and was on the set every day, and he was very severely injured and damaged by what happened. And that's not something you take lightly, because you have a real person there, and you start to sort of interact with that person in a way that you can't forget. For either of us, actually, that was true. And I'm still in touch with that guy. So you don't just walk back home from that and clock off that easily.
I need you to do something. I'm going to have to send you up into the lion's den. If you're caught...
What the hell are you doing up here?
Can't mention me.
I know who you are. I have something to trade. Something.
You know, I love you for so many different roles in which you're physically enabling all the emotions that you have, and obviously Smiley is much more subtle, a lot quieter. Is one more difficult than the other to approach?
It depends. It depends on how the quality of the material. This is obviously a very emotionally contained performance where all those feelings, they're all sort of that reined in, and he's very much a sort of a poker face. But you do have the advantage of the book, the source material, which we all which we read religiously. It was like the Holy Grail. So you have the subtext from the book, from the material. So if you're in a scene and you've got only three or four words, you feel that there's a whole life going on because you've read the book and all creating the character and finding him. All I needed to know about George was in those 530 something pages.
So, well, give me the right, Mr. Oldman. It's always an honor to speak with you. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
She told me a secret.
The mother of all secrets.
She had information concerning a double agent.
You have to assume they're watching you.
Things aren't always what they seem.
I wanted to ask, after you win an Oscar, is there a sense of pressure after like I've got to keep following this up. I've got to make sure that I earned this, or is it a sense of like, I won an Oscar. If I want to, I can make crap now. Not that this is fantastic.
No, yeah, I was going to say thanks. It's you get to choose that, which you go. What I've decided to do is somewhat the latter. I can do whatever I want, but the pressure thing, it's not that it's not there. I've just decided to defer it. It's not to do with crap. I mean, obviously, I want to deliver every time I do a job, but the thing that after the Oscars, the first film I did was a farcical comedy. That's not what people would call Oscar bait. It's just going into completely and utterly different territory and basically luxuriating in that. I had the most wonderful time because there are no thoughts of awards campaigns, awards buzz, and that sort of thing when you do that kind of thing. I don't know, it might be brilliant enough to defy all the conventions, but I felt it was good to just step right out of that.
Absolutely. Well, give me the wrap. Sir, it's truly an honor speaking with you. Thank you so much for your time. I really
appreciate it.
It's become so ugly.
We're not so very different, you and I. We're both looking for the weaknesses in one another.